Hi everybody, Ron with So What Do You Think on SoWhatDoYouThink.com. We're talking this week about, I'm going to respond to the idea of voting. We talked last week about voting and whether or not I can be convinced to vote. I'm 41 years old, I've never voted before, I'm a proud Canadian, and as I said last week, I've never voted. So I asked for reasons why I should. I'm not proud of the fact that I haven't voted, so I want to be convinced of why I should be. And I talked to a lot of different people, and I'm still waiting to hear the arguments. So the question I said to you, Isabel, is do you vote? Will you vote in this upcoming election? Are you going to?
Yes, I am for sure. I've always voted. I am a proud Canadian, and I totally respect that I have this right and this privilege to vote. There was a time when women were not even allowed to vote. And so I totally take complete opportunity of having my say, and my vote counts, my voice counts, my opinion counts.
Fair enough.
And, I totally understand feeling like, they've already made decisions and they're going to do what they want to do, or, they change their mind and this is just a total, they sell themselves. And then
Yeah.
when they're actually in power, it's a different story. I guess I kind of look at it as having faith and trusting that what they're saying is going to be
Yeah, we should hope.
somewhat
We can try.
even close to the truth. And then also at the end of the day, we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes.
No.
I don't think I'll ever be in politics. You won't find me running for a position.
So the
And-
question is, do you think we should know what's going on behind the scenes? Do you
Well,
think that people like this WikiLeaks thing with Julian Assange, do you
Okay.
think we should know all this? Do you think we should
Um,
elect them and trust that what they're doing
okay.
behind closed doors?
I think that there's an element of information that should be kept behind closed doors.
Okay,
Yeah, I do.
okay.
But politicians should do obviously as best as they can to support the people. And if we look at it on a local scale of what's happening, and that's how it is with voting here. You can't exactly vote for the prime minister. You have to vote
Yeah.
for the leader within your community,
Yeah.
which is also kind of another frustrating thing, because maybe
Yeah.
you don't want to vote for the person in your community.
Well, in my
but-
riding, I actually took the time in the last week to research this
Yeah.
and to look into it and to take everybody's opinions
Yeah.
and to go back at those opinions and see where they went.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I look at my riding. The girl who's in there, she's been in there for about 4 terms,
Yeah.
and she got like 78% of the vote. What difference am I gonna make? What difference am I gonna make in that? So even if I want to vote now, but the thing that deterred me
Okay.
both now and back then is the
Okay.
same thing. All these, like our premier gets elected on a single platform that turns out 16 days later to be completely false. So, and there was no recourse whatsoever. So even if they don't do the right things, there's no recourse. They're still in charge. It tells me that the other politicians are doing the same things and allowing this to happen because he just got caught and they're going to let it slip by. There's no repercussions.
Okay, and when I know you haven't voted, but if you think about it this way, would it make a difference if you voted as a business person, since you own your own business, versus thinking as the individual? Would
Yeah,
it make
see,
a difference?
it's about the angles, right? Because I have 2 teenagers. They're in high school in the Vancouver area, the Greater Vancouver
Okay.
area. I have a small business that I own on the east side of Vancouver, which is the east side of Vancouver is notorious.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way, just
Yeah.
notorious.
Right.
So I have many different angles to come from,
Yes.
and I don't know which one to go after because
see.
insofar as taxes are concerned, that's so big picture that I
Mm-hmm.
can't even put a dent in that, and that's what I see it as. Is why would I put a dent in? And then I go to a civic thing, whereas you have a mayor in Vancouver, for instance, who's avowed to put in bike lanes, and he's got the equipment out on the streets and getting ready to put in bike lanes, and 4 hours later they're having a vote at City Hall on whether or not they should put in bike lanes. They've already got
Made
the
the
equipment in there, so. Even every time I back off from level to level to level, I still see corruption. I still see something that for me is uncontrollable. What I can control is what happens within a block of my business, my home, things like that.
Right.
Even then, like you said, there's got to be a level of trust. I just don't have
Yeah.
any. I just don't have any.
Yeah. Well, we can agree to
Disagree? We'll see. I still
guess-
don't know if I'm going to
I
vote.
mean-
It said online that
Yeah.
that in BC voter registration cards are supposed to show up between April 8th and 13th. So that would be next week. So when I get that card, I guess that's when I make the decision. I mean, I cared about it enough to research
Yeah.
it, and then I looked at it in the end, and I just decided that it's still not a valid exercise for
Yeah.
me. I just still think that I have no bearing on it. And
I wouldn't.
obviously, with less than 50%
Yeah.
voter turnout at the last civic election,
Yeah.
a lot of people feel this way. It's unfortunate.
I wonder what would happen if you propose this question, or you pose this question to each one of the running individuals.
Yeah,
Like,
if
what
you
would they
ask them.
say? I wonder.
Yeah, I know, because, and this is something that I addressed before. Are they just going to jump straight into defense mode? Because, for instance, everything I see on TV is an attack ad on the
The
other
other
person.
person.
It's
Yeah.
never a, well, okay, sell
Yeah.
yourself to me. If
Yeah.
I want to sell my
Yeah. You're
business
right.
against other businesses on the street, I do it by putting out a better product,
agree with
better
you.
service,
I
etc.
agree with you.
Shouldn't they be accountable?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
we'll see.
You know, really, the main reason that I vote. I mean, most of the things you're saying, I agree with, but I
Yeah.
still think it's important for me to vote anyways, and try to trust that my opinion's going to count. When you look at other countries
Yeah.
where people haven't been able to vote, or they have voted but there's corruption.
Yep.
Um, in a, I mean, maybe here.
Yeah.
What you're insinuating is there's a little bit of the corruption too, if decisions are already being made and our votes aren't really
Yeah.
counting. But there's still a different level of respect that the citizens of Canada are getting.
I agree with that, and you got to understand that as an introspective person, I've thought about the idea of why I there's city money at work. I thought about the idea of why I wouldn't vote, and it's because I'm taking for granted that I have certain rights, inalienable rights, as
Yeah.
they say, as a Canadian,
Yes.
and they're going to be there no matter what. I'm still going to have this view. I'm still going to be able to walk around freely.
Yeah.
I'm still going to be able to express my opinion and to choose to vote or not. And I know that's a given. So with the rest of it, I know I'm just going to bend over the barrel.
Wow. Wow.
What do
Wow.
we say?
So what do you think?
Yeah.
What
So
do
what do you think?
What do you think?